So Shane McMahon is back. Yep, it was awesome. I was shocked. Like WWE still shows they can still do the shock factor, and the internet doesn't know about it. Like there were rumors that a mystery superstar was coming back that wasn't on the active roster. Though I was speculating, oh, it's going to be a wrestler. It's going to be Kurt Angle. It's going to be a. Well, I know it's not CM Punk, despite John Cena teasing us and trolling us of him. But that's beside the point. I was not expecting Shane McMahon to come back. Like, it's kind of weird that he came back because I was just watching classic Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon videos on the WWE Network, which you can get for $9.99, I might add, because WWE thinks we're stupid. So, yeah. So, yeah, like Shane McMahon back, it was awesome. Like they did this 30-minute long promo, which I thought, okay, can they not really do this? Like it was annoying, but like it was still awesome that hey, it's Shane McMahon, he's back, and the Detroit, Michigan crowd gave a rousing ovation. It was awesome, and I was glad the crowd was into it. I mean, like it's not like what happened last time when they brung in a new guy to come in or an old guy to come in. They would just be very silent or chant something else. Like, for Bray Wyatt, it was Husky Harris. Or for Evolution, it was Crickets. Yeah, people are still pissed off about that. Or when they do a shock angle where they threaten to paralyze somebody and the DC crowd does not seem caring about it, despite the fact that this guy gave his life for the business. And I'm not letting that part go either because, well, if they're not invested, why should we? I'm like, the superstars are invested, but the audience is just like, oh, Edge is being threatened? Oh, okay. So, like, Shane McMahon has said that he wants control of the WWE through Monday Night Raw, and Vince McMahon says he who controls Raw pretty much controls the entire company. And I'm wondering, wow, you somehow learn the art of not giving a shit about SmackDown, and yet you somehow give two shits, but at the same time you don't. Like, is SmackDown just there for entertainment value? Like, SmackDown's been doing great. I'm like, they still need to transition to live because I'm not investing in watching it since, well, it's pre-taped. I could just look at the spoilers online. And this is the internet nowadays, so that's to be expected. But, yeah, where's SmackDown? Where's the love it gets from there? Are they going to do a brand extension until everyone comes back? And Shane McMahon got the biggest pop of the night. Well, Triple H did, though. That's a completely different subject altogether. I'll talk about that in the build-up video when WrestleMania week comes around. So, Shane McMahon pretty much became the ultimate babyface, pretty much. I still hate that word babyface. Like, can't they just call them faces? Because calling them babyface just sounds so weird to me. So I just call them faces and heels. So Shane McMahon established everything that's wrong with the WWE management and told them and basically said, go fuck yourselves. However, Kevin Dunn gets the last laugh because Shane McMahon, in storyline terms, is blaming Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who we all know backstage has virtually no power when it comes to the main roster, because it's Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn and kind of John Cena. I mean, like, yeah, Triple H and Stephanie have to say so on several occasions, or when they're in angles together, but when it comes to the guys, they might as well just go ahead and say, oh, we have nothing to do, even though we promised you to this. This guy says this, so we can't really do anything about it. So, except for NXT, like thank God they didn't mention NXT because I'm curious to know if Shane McMahon will show up on NXT programming like Triple H does. But moving on from that, it's interesting that this is finally it. The Authority storyline is finally coming to an end. And it's kind of coincidental because a lot of people on the internet were saying, here comes the money! Here we go, money talks. Here comes the money! Like everyone's saying, oh, I wish Shane McMahon comes back to combat the Authority. And what do you know? Shane McMahon comes back to combat the Authority. It's like WWE listened to the fans a bit on this and said, let's bring Shane McMahon back. Now, let's get to some of the things I'm mixed about. Vince McMahon goes ahead and announces that for Shane to take control of the WWE, he needs to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Okay. Defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He does realize Undertaker can only be beaten by Brock Lesnar, right? And Brock Lesnar is going to fight Dean Ambrose. So, wait, is Shane McMahon going to beat The Undertaker to take control of WWE? Like, it's been reported that Shane McMahon might be a regular going forward after WrestleMania. So, wait, does that mean he's going to take over? Does that mean he's going to fight The Undertaker and beat him at WrestleMania? Like, inside Hell in a Cell, especially? And I might make a video about that later on. But I'm kind of mixed. Like, wait, is The Undertaker a heel now? Like, I get he's everything Vince wants in a guy, but at the same time, the fans love Undertaker. Like, am I supposed to hate The Undertaker since he's siding with Vince indirectly? Like, I kept saying, like, and this also ties into the report of the mystery opponent that Undertaker was going to face that was not on the active roster. I was not expecting Shane. I was expecting, hopefully, Kurt Angle. But Shane McMahon's a good consolation, considering Shane McMahon's willing to take the bumps, unlike Vince nowadays. Well, like, except for a punch to the face, but really, I really wanted to see Cesaro swing him. But, yeah. No, this is where the crowd's gonna get mixed about. Like, they're gonna like Shane McMahon because Shane McMahon's fighting for the fans, and also the fact that he just addressed everything that's wrong with WWE management. And I really hope he fires Kevin Dunn in storyline terms. That would be hilariously fun. Since Kevin Dunn is the black sheep of the internet. But at the same time, you're also going to cheer for The Undertaker's because it's The Undertaker. WWE tried to make him turn heel, kind of, with Brock Lesnar, but that failed miserably because everyone chanted for The Undertaker. Like, everyone likes The Undertaker. He's at this point where he's going to get cheered regardless. That's like saying, like, oh, cheer for Roman Reigns because he's a good guy. No! Fans aren't going to cheer for Roman Reigns, even though I want them to, though I understand why the fans don't like Reigns. Though they're blaming Reigns more than they are blaming creative, but that's a completely different video altogether. That's going to be in the build-up video. I'll get to that when I get to that. So, Undertaker, Shane, they're going to have dual champs most likely at WrestleMania. And the one thing I didn't like was Vince's hypocrisy. Like, he dropped the F-bomb on TV that got censored because they have a 7-second delay on their tapings when it comes to Raw. So, like, I'm trying to wonder, wait. Let me get this straight. Vince is allowed to say fuck, but Brad Maddox, who calls the audience cocky pricks, even though everyone doesn't really buy into, like, oh, he's really insulting us, oh, he's just a heel. He gets fired. Titus O'Neil grabs Vince with his arm in an act of chivalry, as he claims. Oh, he gets suspended for 90 days and gets a $5,000 fine and almost gets fired, but Triple H talked him out of it. Vince, however, he gets away with it because he's the boss. Don't question it. Yeah, I'm going to question it. Why the fuck is Vince being hypocritical here? Like, even on the internet, people are like saying, you're being hypocritical here. Like, you fired Brad Maddox because he called the crowd cocky pricks, and everyone will just say, oh, that's just a heel attitude. And you fine Titus O'Neil and suspend him because he grabs your arm. Where's the difference here? You're not setting a good precedent. And lastly, it came with this very awkward speech Vince McMahon said, where he talks about a good beating, and I'm like, and Shane McMahon implies it as well, and like, wait, he's talking about a good beating. They're talking about when they were young. Are we supposed to buy into the fact that Vince McMahon physically abused his 2 children? Like, jeez, that's kind of dark. Like, if you were talking about past matches they had against each other, but no, they were talking about when they were young. And, like, you do realize you're politically correct, right? You can't say this. Because you're politically correct. That means you're hypocritical. And also whining about every sensitive little detail. But now you're implying that you abused your children when they were younger. And this was like before WWE came into their lives. You're implying that, Vince. Does the word hypocrite comes to mind? Because you're politically correct, you're PG era, you say the F word on TV, punish those who say the F word or any type of word. In fact, I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns is going to get fined for using a blood capsule, since everyone is indicating that, and Brian Saxon might get in trouble for no reason, since it was reported that he may have handed him a blood capsule. So, that was pretty much the ugly I got. Like, okay, this is a PG show, right? You hypocrites. Congratulations, Vince. You have set a dangerous precedent here by being a lying scumbag. Like, you already have John Cena going out and saying, hey, I do charity promos. Love me, please. Now you're saying, oh, I can say the F word, but everyone else, they can't. And also, I can say I abused my children, even though we're on a PG programming, and people might take offense to that, since there's parental abuse every day in the world. So, yep, those were my thoughts on Shane McMahon's return. This is New Year Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more.